Hey YouTube, welcome to the shop. Thought today I would do a quick video just kind of showing you the way I set up the automation for my dust collection. So here we go. All right, so this is the control panel that I put together for my dust collection automation. So if you see my other videos, I've got a couple out there that talk a little bit about the way I built the blast gates and the way everything is connected. So thought I would just kind of give you a quick rundown of what we have here. So up on the top right here are a number of switches. Each one of these controls the various blast gates. You can see over there, blast gate opening, closing. I decided to go ahead and put in a manual control switch for each one of the blast gates. That way if there were any problems with the automation or hadn't kind of finalized things, I could still control everything. But then down below in this case right here is where I put in all of the automation for the tools. And so what I'm using is an arduino. It's just a Rex Qualis, which is probably the cheapest Mega that I could find on Amazon, and a number of relays. I've got 32 relays in here. I'm actually not using all 32 of them for this. I've only using about 24, 25, somewhere in there. And so each one of those is controlling these solenoids over on this side. And so the main air line comes in here. It's hooked up to these solenoid manifolds. And so I've got compressed air running through each of those through 3/8, just basically ice maker line. And then each of these has an in and an out. These are 5-way valves, and those lines run out to each, you can see them all running out here, to each of the different blast gates. And so what happens is whenever I flip the switch for instance, number 1, that's going to send compressed air into the first valve down here, which then sends it all the way over to that cylinder over there, opening that cylinder and opening that blast gate. The Arduino does the same thing, but the way this one is working is I wrote some code in C++ telling it that whenever there is a signal on a certain pin, then it's to then open the other specific solenoids over here. So it's going to open whenever there's 5 volts on sensor 4, it's going to open valve 1, 5, 7, and 9, for instance. So just to give you a quick demonstration of that, I will go back over here, take a look at the drum sander. So when I flip this on, you'll see there's a line right here. That's just a really small, like a 22 gauge, number 22 gauge wire. So it's sending a 5-volt signal. What I did is I took a phone charger, which is this right here, and very carefully soldered some wires on the end of that. And then I actually went ahead and glued this in, epoxied this into the box so that it would be fully secured in there and wouldn't have any wires touching. Made sure everything was shrink wrapped real well so that there weren't any places where it could connect. And then that is tied into the power supply after the switch. So there's 110 volts that feeds that whenever I flip the switch on for the drum sander. That then sends that 5-volt signal all the way up and around over to my control box. And when it senses signal on that specific pin, it's going to turn the specific blast gates on. So whenever I open this up, it will open those blast gates. Takes a second to spool down and it closes them all, just like that. And so it's opening about 3 or 4 blast gates when I turn that on. So that's kind of how that works. Love to get your feedback. Let me know if you guys have questions, and we'll see you next time.